What's cooking, guys? Today we're going to find out some more information about some of our favorite, possibly incoming players, some favorite, possibly wanting to go outgoing players. What's their situation? What's their stats? We're talking Locatelli, a big Locatelli update. As you know, that's the biggest update that we have going on currently. And then we've got a Dybala update, his situation with Juventus, as well as your favorite Bernardeschi. We're talking Bernardeschi. We got Dembele, and then we got a new talent, a young player that's could potentially join Juventus. Let's see what goes with that. Stay tuned and let's get started. Ciao, Bianconeri. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. I'm Justin Sofro. Today is Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. And before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and smash that subscribe button so that way you can stay up to date with all information that we'll be dropping, as well as our new programs we're going to be bringing in. As I talked about, we want to get you guys involved. We want to hear your voices first, but we're slowly building this thing up. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. First off, we got Locatelli. Your favorite guy, my favorite guy. Let's get into it. First, we have Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Juventus will open talks with Sassuolo for Manuel Locatelli this week. Meetings scheduled to start official negotiations. Juve is aware of the interest of many Premier League clubs. We'll read through a few of these before I give my opinion. I know you're waiting for my opinion. Can't wait to hear that. And then Di Marzio is going on to say that Juventus are getting serious about Locatelli. It's about time. I know I said it's hold to get my opinion, but there I go. The club is expected to make their first move this week, meeting with Sassuolo to set up negotiations. Locatelli is the club's first choice and is much appreciated by Allegri. Romeo Agresti also says that Juventus and Sassuolo will meet by Thursday, so that he's actually given us a day, at least by Thursday, for Locatelli. My guess is probably on Thursday. For Locatelli, 30 million euros plus Dragusin, but other players can also be included. And then going on from that, we have a little bit more information. Nico Shira last night was saying that Juventus are confident to close the Locatelli deal, which has already been agreed upon on personal terms for a contract until 2026 with 3 million euros a year plus bonuses. The Italian midfielder wants to sign for Juve, which is in the next 48 hours in Milano, will meet with Sassuolo to reach the agreement. And then finally, we have everybody has their input on this one. It's all about the same report, but we're just going to run through them all so you get every single source and what they're saying, because there's a little bit of nuances and variances on what they were reporting. Gazzetta dello Sport is saying there will be a meeting this week for Locatelli. The offer will be cash plus Dragusin, who is much appreciated by Sassuolo. So these are the main ones that we had to go over. Good to see Juventus is stepping up, getting it done. Like I said, that should be the target for Juventus. He has all the traits and qualities that you're looking for with the club. One of the things that I was there was one that I saw that we didn't have in our rundown list. So I don't know, of course, this is not I'm just regurgitating the news to you. I'm not reporting anything, obviously, but there's one saying potentially the addition of the 30 million euros, Dragusin, and then De Grassa. I think it was Marco De Grassa was another name potentially to be thrown in there with that group. I remember he was on the list for one of the players, but he didn't play for Juventus when he was called up from the U23 squad. I think he's only had one goal scored in his time playing for Juventus. Didn't have a ton of participation really, but that's an interesting name being thrown in. Maybe one that maybe would make people happier, since you're not hearing Vajoli, you're not hearing Rovella, you're not hearing those names, unfortunately. And then again, or maybe not unfortunately, but Dragusin is the name that seems to be the one that Sassuolo wants. It's just slowly, we're really just waiting, getting feelers, and just trying to see what more will come out of this. To me, it just seems like an inevitability that this deal will get done, but it's just about the amount and what can Sassuolo drain from Juventus. That's what they're trying to do. We all know it. So what can they do to come to an agreement to go ahead and complete this deal? And I understand Sassuolo is going to want to use everything they can when it comes to the Premier League teams and their interests, as well as potentially, I think it was it Real Madrid with Ancelotti being interested in him as well. They're going to put pressure on Juventus to try to scrounge up a few more euros there. But that's the update. Hopefully by Thursday, we'll definitely have, when I say Thursday, I'm hoping we'll have the bigger update, the actual, maybe not announcement from Juventus, but the Fabrizio Romano, here we go, confirmed, all those kind of information, getting it done, and we'll have one player that we can tally for a mercato. Moving on, and then we move on to Romeo Agresti, that reported this really just within the hour that, at least the hour that I'm recording this, whether it gets out in that time, we'll see. But that Dybala, a contact has been made between Cherubini and Antun, the agent of Dybala. It is expected in the coming days. Allegri wants the Argentine to stay intervened. So that's big news to hearing about him. Making efforts, at least Cherubini making efforts to speak with Dybala's agent to try to get something set up and set in stone for them to meet and speak and, make a deal happen. It seems that Juventus still is not willing to pay that full amount that he's looking for, but hopefully they can be reasonable and come to a table and agree on something, because I know, Dybala loves Juventus. He wants to stay there, as well as Juventus values him. And I think Dybala is the future when it comes to the striker position, until we add somebody else, since Ronaldo is on his way out. So just something to keep an eye on. Maybe in the next week we'll have Locatelli and Dybala concrete news going in there. And then first, let me wet my whistle. Water, stay hydrated. Okay. And then Di Marzio is reporting that your favorite player, everybody's favorite player, I don't know why I always go with this saying, but sorry. I skipped ahead. Bernardeschi, at the moment, there are no offers for Bernardeschi. The most likely outcome is that he will stay at the club. Everything we've heard lately seems to confirm that. It seems to confirm that Allegri likes him enough and thinks that he can do something with Bernardeschi, that he can at least use him for the remainder of this season or so, and see what he does, maybe before they end up deciding what his future will hold going into the next season after this season. As it stands, it appears that he's more likely to stay than he is to go. I don't know if they will end up offering him a new contract. There were some reports, I think as of late, that I saw were saying that a new contract is not on the table at this time for Bernardeschi, but I think it's all in a matter of review for Allegri to see what he can get out of him as the coach of Juventus. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Not what you want to hear. I know the Bernardeschi out and all that is just going to keep continuing, but as it seems right now, you're a bit resigned if you're in the Bernardeschi out crowd too. He's probably going to be in the cards for the next year. Also, when you think about it too, there's so many difficult players that we're trying to sell right now. You're trying to sell Ramsey. You're trying to sell maybe not different. Ramsey seems a bit difficult, but Demiral, who seems to be the best option to sell. So you got to get these guys out before you go and break your back over trying to sell Bernardeschi, who, as it stands right now, doesn't have a lot of suitors, maybe zero suitors. So that's just something to keep an eye on. And then when I was jumping ahead to, we have Demiral news. Basically, just Tutto Mercato Web is reporting that despite having played a bad Euro, the Turkish player Juventus wants at least 30 million euros for the Turkish player for Demiral. So as it stands right now, they have not lowered their request, and I don't think they should. He had Yes, there was the own goal for Italy that he gave to Italy at least, and gifted that. I appreciated it, but it's not great for his stock and as a reflection of him as a defender for Juventus, especially when you're trying to get that some kind of income from him from the sale of him. But that's just something to keep an eye on. It may knock, people like Atalanta out of competition for trying to get his services. But hopefully we'll see what happens with the Premier League teams, especially because he had interest previously. And then finally, Mirko Di Natale is reporting a new talent is on the radar of Juventus. There's also Juventus showing interest in Kasper Kozlowski, the Polish midfielder who became the youngest debutant debutante. I don't know why it makes me think of like the debutante ball. Anyway, became the youngest debutant at a European championship at 17 years and 246 days. So I don't know. This is like a newer name. I remember I've heard him pop up a couple times, and I've heard whispers about the player. Nothing concrete or serious. Nothing breaking down his play. But it's a thing to keep an eye on. I don't know. My guess would be that he'd more than likely be a target for like the U23 side to try to build up, close Valenza for the future, or if he actually can play his way onto the first team. But that's something to keep an eye on to see what goes on with him. But as it stands, that's where it is. Right now, it's just a few names that we're really looking at. As it seems right now, the top story, Locatelli, getting the Locatelli deal done. Hopefully that'll be done by the end of the week. Okay, that might be a little bit I might be a little bit too optimistic with that one, but hopefully we'll have some more solid news about maybe coming to an agreement by the end of the week. And then you have the Dybala news. I would love to see them go ahead and get that taken care of, so that way we can focus more on these other areas that are necessary within the club. You're going to need, yes, you want Locatelli, but you're also going to need to look at these other midfielders that you need to add to the team. Speaking of which, I meant to bring this up when we were talking about Kozlowski, but he is an attacking midfielder. Market value right now is about 5 million euros. He's young, 17 years old. So yes, he played in the Euro, but I don't think he's a serious option for the midfield currently for Juventus's first team, but he would be another midfield option. I'm sure I'll have the graphic thrown up for you right now, at least if not before. But anyway, so that's where I sit with it. I'm just thinking, get Locatelli done, get Dybala done. Right now, Bernardeschi, more than likely, he'll be on the back burner. Throw Dybala there for suitors, because that's where you're headed right now. And then we need to focus on possibly, another left back, and then that second midfielder we need to add. I saw some report, and all this, there's so many little tweets and stuff that go out that are, garbage tweets, and I'll be honest there. But there was one that said that like Allegri's dream midfield was Rabiot, Locatelli, and Bentancur. And if that's the dream midfield, like, yes, I mean, Locatelli and then Rabiot have shown promise. But there's no way, to me, it can't be. That's not a dream midfield. A dream midfield is, Locatelli, Pogba, and throw somebody out there for, another top tier midfielder. That's what a dream means to me, not something that's easily accessible like this. To me, I just can't include Bentancur or really even Rabiot. Rabiot has shown a lot of promise lately, but I definitely can't include Bentancur when it comes to my dream midfield, at least. So that's something to keep an eye on. But that's really all the news that I have for you today. Please make sure to check in with us tomorrow. I don't know what I am, just motor mouth there or something happened there. But check in with us tomorrow to get the latest roundup of all things covering Juventus. Please go ahead and, like I said, like and subscribe to the video. It really helps to the channel, as it really helps us grow the channel, and we'll be able to perform more for you soon. Those live streams are about to be getting up to date and getting up and running, and we're excited to see about your participation and to hear your stories. That's my passion when it comes to this. Is I love doing the news shows, especially when you're hearing all these rumors and all that. But my real passion is hearing your stories as Juventus fans. Why you're a Juventus fan? How did you get here like me? That's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I'm excited to see us do in the future. But also, go ahead and hit that bell to get notifications up to date. So as soon as a video drops, you get a notification on your phone, on your tablet, whatever device you have. You'll get a notification that the video is up and ready to go. So that way you get the latest news as soon as it's fresh. So, and then go ahead and follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram, and follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri, and Forza Azzurri.